Hey, what's going on, everyone? You know, one of the most difficult things to do in life is to open yourself up to constructive criticism and negative feedback from other people. We all want to hear positive things, positive reinforcement. Don't get me wrong, I love that. I thrive off of positive reinforcement. But at the same time, in order to grow in anything you're doing, I don't care if it's a YouTube channel or if it's a personal relationship that you're in or anything else, could be a sport, whatever it is in life, it could be just parenting skills, whatever it is that you're trying to work on, and develop, you've got to be open to some form of constructive criticism along the way if you want to get better. And you can have your own thoughts sometimes and your own theories about something you might not be doing right, or you might be in total denial and think you're doing everything correct and that it's really everybody else's problem why they don't like something it is that you're doing. And so how does this relate to YouTube and why you're watching this video? Well, I've been doing YouTube for a while now, for a few years, 2 years, and I've put out a ton of content, over 600 free videos, and I've had a nice following that has developed from that. I appreciate every single one of you who have continued to come by, some of whom have stuck by from the very beginning. People like Noel Griffith and Laura Cohn and Esme and Jesse Bellflower. And I know I'm leaving out a bunch of people, but just to make the point, it's been a fun ride to do this. And while I do continue to grow, I feel like I'm not really where I should be given the output that's been accomplished through the channel with that much content. And the feedback that I have gotten from people is that no one really dislikes the content. They like what it is that they're hearing, which has always been sort of perplexing to me in terms of growth hasn't been proportionate to the degree in which people say that they like the content. I'm talking about things like subscribers and that type of thing. And so I'm trying to kind of figure this out and kind of put things together in terms of what the problem is. And so I decided yesterday to put a question in my Facebook group to literally ask people to give me constructive criticism. And I want you to do that here too in the comment section, in terms of things that you don't like about the channel, things that you wish were different, things that annoy you that I do, things that annoy you that is just something on the channel. For example, one of the main themes that came through that really annoyed a lot of people, which is ironic because I thought people liked this, and this is why you have to ask, because sometimes you could just be in denial and just not know, is while there are some people who like the intro, I know, for example, some people like, I think Melanie, Metal Flippin' Mel has it for her alarm in the morning, and Noel Griffith is the only one who blasts it really loud, Farm Girl Scavenger. But a lot of people dislike the intro because they say it's too loud and they can't listen to it, late at night without waking somebody up, or they're listening in their earphones and it just blasts. And I actually have some of the comments here, and I'm going to look through them as I'm talking to you here on the video. I was going through them. The one that really hit me the most was the one by Elise, and I don't say this to make Elise feel bad at all, but TNA Treasures. After a bunch of other people commented about, that they really didn't like how loud the intro was and how it was discordant with the rest of the volume on the video. She said, I was just going to comment on this, but seeing it was already brought to your attention, I listen on earbuds and it blows me away every time. But this is the part that really got me. I've been kind of avoiding them since the beginning music started. And to hear that was like, oh my gosh, the last thing I want to do is turn people away from the videos. And by putting in an intro that could be aversive to people, I'm actually doing that, and I don't even realize it. And the ironic thing about that is that intro, that actually takes me a lot of time to add into videos that I make, because that's a separate file that has to be synced onto my regular video. And that takes processing time. And depending on how long the video is, it could take a really long time to process this. Plus there has to be an outro that's put on the end of that. And so some people said, get the volume lower, or, shorten it or something like that. So what I am going to do, I am going to have some kind of intro, but it's going to be very brief. My ideal thought is it's going to be like a flash of my logo on the screen in the beginning. And there might just be like a subtle movement that goes through, and maybe like a slight little noise or something like that. Nothing loud. Make sure to keep the volume low off that. But that's how the file came to me. The file came with that volume, and I had no way to control that. So it wasn't like there was anything with that I had any kind of way to manipulate. It's just how it came to me, and thought it was good just based on some test runs. But another thing that came out of this discussion was video length. And this is admittedly my biggest flaw on YouTube, is wordiness, in that my videos do tend to be on the longer side. And that's not only true here on YouTube, that's true in other aspects of my life. When I tell a story to Mrs. Primetime, she'll tell me, just get to the point. When I write reports, do my work, we have different neuropsychologists where I work, my reports are the longest. I tend to be a wordy person, and I'm for those of you who don't know, I come from an academic, medical background, and so I've written 2 books, and I've published journal articles, and I give lectures and stuff, and these are like hour-long lectures, and so that's great for that setting, but that doesn't always apply to the YouTube setting. And one of the things that just came across more, not that I didn't kind of know this in the back of my head a little bit, but it's not until you actually see it, and this is the point, you got to open yourself up to the criticism and then be willing to hear it. It's one thing to open yourself up, but then you can't just bat away every criticism that comes your way. You've got to absorb it. Even if it doesn't feel good to hear it, you've got to take it on to make positive progress and change, in your life, whatever it is you're trying to do. So a lot of people commenting that, they really would prefer videos that were more in the 10 to 20 minute range. So that's what I'm going to try to do, for most of the videos going forward, is to try to do that. So, I'm going to need you to stick with me during that process as I try to change things up, and I try to make things as efficient as possible. It's not going to be easy for me to do. This is going to be an enormous challenge, more than you could possibly know. If I didn't get into the career that I'm in right now, I was going to apply to law school, which what happens there? You're arguing cases in front of a judge and a jury, and you're writing legal briefs all the time. So wordy stuff is great. I've always told you I'm terrible at visual spatial stuff, unless it comes to like putting together little marketing images. But besides that, I am absolutely horrible. So verbal is where my strength is. And so, that's a big thing. A lot of people saying, listen, I could sneak in 10 to 15 to 20 minutes, but if I see a video that's 40 minutes long, I can't get through it. And this is the problem, is that this is what is, I think, really harming my channel. And this is good for people who are brand new who are watching this, because I've been researching this more and more. And one of the things that YouTube looks at in terms of whether or not they're going to recommend your video to other people is a completion rate. So in other words, if somebody watches the video from the beginning to the end, YouTube's going to consider that a good video, because they're going to think, hey, this is something the person stuck with and they watched it to the end. So that's really, really important. But what's the chances you're going to stick with a video that's 40 minutes long, or 60 minutes long, or something like that? So it's much lower compared to a 10 to 20 minute range video. Like I said, people's attention ranges are short, people's time is limited, and that's what people are saying that they prefer. That's a general theme that cut through here. Now, where I am going to try to do that are these types of videos like this. When I'm down here, I'm trying to teach something, I'm trying to do something instructional. I'm really going to try my best to keep them in that range, including this one. We'll see how well I do on it. But where I am not going to sacrifice that, I have to make some kind of compromises, is obviously live shows. Live shows go an hour, but I don't think, and no one's really complaining about that. People know that. The other thing, and I don't think people mind this necessarily, are the treasure hunt videos. People love those. So whenever we could get back to doing those, We will. But what I might consider doing is breaking them into two parts. Like if it's a 40-minute treasure hunt, what do you think about a 20-minute, first half, and then you got to wait till the next day to see the second half. So it breaks it up into little chunks like that. That might not be a bad idea. So, maybe that'd be something that I'll try. Some of the comments that came in were really eye-opening to me. And I do appreciate, there are some people who are really loyal and really, stick up for me and stuff like that. And I really do appreciate that. But I did open myself up to it. So as long as the comments are, constructive, that's the emphasis, constructive criticism. They're designed to help me improve on areas where I have weaknesses. And so, and I just got to tell you, just as an aside, of all the things that I have accomplished in my life, this YouTube channel has been the most challenging thing I have tried to do. It really has. It's just, it's amazing. I mean, it's tough. It really is a tough thing. It's not something that I would say really came naturally to me. I kind of went into it as a challenge to challenge myself to do something new. And I think I've been overall pretty successful with it. But like I said, there's been some things that, are really like problems that are holding me back that I think I need to work on. One of the interesting comments that came was from Roy Johnson. So Roy, if you're watching this, I hope you like that there's no introduction to the video here, but this is something that he said. Well, let me start with his beginning. Now, I will say he kind of took a little bit of it back, said maybe be a little too harsh because of the pandemic, but he said, "Your intro is loud and annoying. It's jumpy and fast and makes me roll my eyes. The content after that is good." See, that's the thing that kills me, is like I have content that people like, but then it's really what I'm kind of realizing more. I've got to keep this content the same, but it's the way the content is packaged that is more important. So that intro coming into it, if you're pissing people off on the intro, and annoying them, that's a problem. Like that's exactly where you're trying to grab people's attention. So that's got to be changed up. And again, from the beginning, what are people looking at? They're looking at, how long is this video? Well, okay, it sounds like it's interesting, but again, 40 minutes, I don't have 40 minutes. I'm going to go skip and watch one that's 10 minutes because I only have 10 minutes right now. So I get that. It's totally fair, valid criticism. But one of the things he said that I thought was interesting was, let's see, where is it? He said, because I was telling him that I'm going to, just so you know, like the beginning of the video, why it was designed that way was, one, to kind of show you all the different things I do. It says like I do treasure hunting, I do interviews, blah, blah, blah. It says all the little things I do, shows Daisy, that kind of stuff. And the reason why it was, kind of fast paced like that was to give people a sense of kind of like my energy level and the intensity that I bring to the channel. And by intensity, I don't mean what Roy was thinking of it, which is like a drill instructor type of thing. That's not what I meant. I meant that when I decide to do something, I go all in on it. And so like, that's what I mean. Like, that's why you see me down here doing videos at 3:45 in the morning sometimes, 2 o'clock in the morning, because I just have that passion for the, for the channel and for what I'm doing, that I want to grow it. But one of the things that he said, and I'm trying to find it exactly, but he said like, hey, your channel, it's got all these fast moving parts. I can't find the exact words, but he's like, it has all these fast moving parts, all this fast motion and everything. And then all of a sudden, where is it? He goes, I dislike the fast paced flash, 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 image, boom, image, nothing stands still. We're always moving fast, fast, fast intro. And then the real video starts and it's some guy standing there talking to us, in a closed in environment, which I try to bring you in open environments if I can, like the shed video. But right now, especially in the wintertime in Syracuse, I'm limited in terms of what I could do in that way. So, those are main themes. Now, another theme that came through is some people complaining, ironically, about volume being low on some of these videos. And that might be, you're going to have to let me know, like on this video, are you hearing it low? Because this video, I am recording just with my regular phone, and I might attach like an external microphone to it to improve things. But I actually had invested in a Canon G7X Mark II, which is like a $700 camera. And the problem with it is the audio on it is terrible. It's very popular for vlogging, but it doesn't have good audio mic. So I'm gonna have to investigate that part a little more. Of the three things, the audio here, you might just have to turn that up a little bit until I could get a solution to that. You should not be having any problem whatsoever hearing me when I do live shows or when I do videos in which you see me on the bottom of the screen, because this is like a top of the line microphone. So I don't know how anyone would have a problem with that. You may have the only thing I could think of for some, because people said some videos, would be this one here. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, there were plenty of people that were very complimentary, said very nice things, said keep things the way things are, don't change it up, leave it the way it is. And I appreciate that. And again, I'm not going to change the core of who I am, but I do take this as a challenge, and I put so much time and so much effort into this channel that I don't want to just give it up. And I also don't want to just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, hoping for a different result when I know deep down that there's something that needs to change. So, there were other comments. You can go to my Facebook group if you want to see some of the things that other people said. And so, again, I appreciate all the comments, and you could leave some down below. But, again, I really hope that this inspires you. Look, if you're just starting out on YouTube and you're struggling, listen, don't give up if it's something that you really like, or if it's anything that you're doing in life that you feel like you kind of come up against a hurdle and you've kind of gone as far as you kind of can by yourself and you need some help from others. Don't be scared to ask people for help. Reach out to colleagues and reach out to people who are around you, your support base. Everyone who wrote in are people who are supporters. They're not haters. They're people who are trying to help me out, and I really do appreciate that. And so I hope that this winds up in the history of this channel being an important video that I could point back to down the road in terms of a time where things changed around somewhat. So I will be working with someone to develop that new intro. I'll be planning some new shorter videos for people, so hopefully that grabs people's attention span more, and it gives you more what you want. Still gives you good content, but keeps it more condensed. I think part of my problem too is that I kind of always am anticipating in my head when I say something that I've got to kind of say all the things around a certain point, because I think someone's going to say something, well, yeah, you didn't say that, like in the in the comment section, and think that well, you didn't mention that particular point, and that's something that's like an exception to something you said. So I always feel like I have to say like the exceptions and stuff like that. So that's my own thing, that's part of my own personality, and again, something that I have to work on to grow the channel. So I hope that you enjoy watching these changes starting, probably the next video that comes out tomorrow. We'll see what we're going to do. And I appreciate every single one of your support out there. So, don't be scared. Open yourself up to constructive criticism. Listen to what people have to say. And if you keep hearing the same theme over and over and over in terms of something that somebody is saying about you, and it's on the negative side, there's probably some truth to it. And it's time for some self-reflection and to pause and say, all right, I've been thinking that I'm doing things the right way all along, but yeah, maybe they're right, and I need to at least try to make some changes. So while my natural predisposition is to be wordy, I'm going to be cutting it down, and I am going to stop this video right now. So I gotta have a timer on around me. That's another problem. I don't have like a clock or a timer around me. So that's one of the reasons I could just go and go and go, and then I don't even realize that just I went like 25-30 minutes. So anyway, that's it, everyone. Please continue to support the channel, stick on through it, and come by the Facebook group, Facebook Reselling Resource Center. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, real important. Right up top, just click that button, and make sure you come follow me on Instagram at @prime_time_treasure. I'll see you back at the next video, everyone. Take care.